Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Barely get it by, it's all taking and no giving. They just use your mind, they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. Close your eyes for a minute and imagine a sweet lady in a blonde wig, fair skin, an hourglass figure, and high heels to make her taller than 5 feet. I will be teaching you about one of the greatest icons in country music, Miss Dolly Parton, and her rags to rhinestones stardom. We will be looking at her childhood, her stardom with Porter Wagoner, and her accomplishments. We'll start out with her childhood. Dolly Parton was born early on a snowy morning, January 19, 1946, in a wooden shack on the Little Pigeon River in Sevierville, Tennessee. Her parents are Avie Lee and Robert Lee Parton. Dolly was the fourth of 12 siblings. Willadine, David, and Denver came before Dolly, and afterwards were Bobby, Stella, Cassie, Brandy, Larry, who died a few hours after birth, the twins Floyd and Frida, and Rachel. It was a rough life supporting such a big family. Her mom was only 22 when she had Dolly and was married only at 15 years old. So young. Her father worked odd jobs, mostly farming and construction. The family struggled just to make ends meet. Money was scarce, and sometimes the Partons had none at all. When Dolly was delivered, the doctor was paid with a sack of flour. They lived in a 2-room shack with an upstairs attic in Locust Ridge, Tennessee. There was no television, no telephone, and no automobile. But they did have an old battery radio that tuned in and out. They didn't even have electricity. Living in a 2-room shack, it didn't matter if you didn't wet the bed, because with sharing a bed with 4 to 5 kids, someone was bound to wet the bed, even if you didn't. They had few toys and clothes for hand-me-downs. Mama would sew clothes with bits of material. Nothing was ever wasted. Dolly started singing as soon as she could talk. Before Dolly could even read or write, she would tell her mother songs to write down. When Dolly was 7, she began learning to play the guitar after making her first one from an old mandolin and 2 bass guitar strings. When she was 8, her uncle gave her her first real guitar, a small Martin. When Dolly was 13, Bill Owens, her uncle, borrowed a car to take her to Nashville. Dolly was able to sing on the Grand Ole Opry. Thanks to the combination of persistence and a fortunate break, Bill Owens tried to get her on the Grand Ole Opry, but they said it was impossible because they said she was too young. They were both determined, him and Dolly, so they talked backstage with officials and performers. One of the performers that she was pestering was Jimmy C. Newman. He smiled and said she could take his turn on stage. She was extremely excited, but maintained her poise. She sang 2 songs and received thunderous applause. For the first time, Dolly knew what it felt like to be a star. Even through bad times, Dolly never lost sight of her dreams. She had a positive outlook and told herself to take one step at a time. Her parents helped with this because they always encouraged her to dream. Next, we'll talk about her stardom with Porter Wagoner. May 29, 1964, Dolly was the first in her family to graduate high school. She left for Nashville the day after graduation to become a singer. That's exactly what she told everyone. She worked hard after arriving in Nashville, and she signed a recording contract with Monument Records in 1966. In 1967, she placed 2 records of her own. A major country star, Porter Wagoner, was looking for a female singer to replace Norma Jean, who was leaving his show. Dolly's recent releases caught Wagoner's attention, so he called her on the phone and asked if she would audition for his show. Of course, it was too good to pass up, so Dolly joined Wagner's show. Porter Wagoner was trying to convince Chet Atkins to sign Dolly to his label at RCA Records. So Dolly was signed as a writer on Wagner's contract. Porter believed in Dolly so much that he put his royalties on the line. So if Dolly's records lost money, then the money that was lost would be taken out of his royalties. But that never happened. In 1971, a grade school memory of Dolly's became a #4 hit named Coat of Many Colors. Mama made Dolly a coat of bits of material sewn together. She stayed up night after night to finish it just for Dolly. 1967 to 1975, Dolly had 5 #1 hits, and Wagner had 0. Dolly gradually cut off her working relationship with Porter because she wanted to concentrate on her own solo career. Wagner continued to produce her records until 1976, then Dolly renegotiated her contract with RCA Records. Now we will talk about Dolly's accomplishments. Dolly has sold more than 100 million albums worldwide. She has also starred in movies such as 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias. She is also the founder of Dollywood Foundation. This was created to inspire children in her hometown to dream more, learn more, care more, and be more. In 1999, Dolly was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville, Tennessee. April 14, 2004, the U.S. Library of Congress awards Dolly with the Living Legend Medal. And the Living Legend Medal is to honor artists, writers, activists, filmmakers, physicians, entertainers, sports figures, and public servants who have made significant contributions to America's diverse cultural, scientific, and social heritage. The professional accomplishments of the living legends have enabled them to provide examples of personal excellence that have benefited others and enriched the nation in a variety of ways. In 2011, Dolly was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award. This award is presented by a vote of the Recording Academy's national trustees to performers during their lifetimes who have made creative contributions of outstanding artistic significance to the field of recording. Late last year, December 10, 2015, NBC aired a show that was named The Coat of Many Colors, and it was Dolly's true story of her childhood. Now, our activity that we're going to do today is I want everyone to YouTube 3 of Dolly Parton's songs with the videos and the lyrics. You can use anything you have at home to use as a microphone, and I want you to sing the words to her songs out loud in front of a mirror. I want you to feel the passion of Dolly's life as you sing the words. Next, I want you to write a paper connecting the words to the information that I've provided about her. Dolly has always said, if you want to know about me, listen to my songs. Thank you.